Welcome in, everybody. As always, we're going to give everybody a little bit of time to come on into our live stream today. Let everybody get a chance to see some of the fun nails that we've been doing over the past couple of weeks here. So hopefully you guys have been able to tune in and join us on our live streams. We're going to be doing a lot more of these for you, so definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure to be able to get those notifications when we do go live. So welcome in, everybody. Got a few more people joining us here. We'll give them just a few more seconds, get everybody a chance to see all the good stuff, and nobody's going to miss out on anything here today. Lena Lim, you are always the first one ready and waiting here. Love it. Victoria Kilman, nice to see you. Rose D, hello there. Oh, it's Hinata. Oh, awesome. I love seeing the different names, so I recognize the names now. I love it, you guys. Welcome in today. So, happy Friday. You know what? I'm going to flip this around here real quick. Happy Friday to everybody. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day today. It is Friday, and I think we're going to change it up just a little bit here today. So I know you guys, you were probably expecting to see a gorgeous demo of all kinds of different colors, and we're going to get into a little bit of a hands-on kind of thing. But today I want to talk a little bit more about some of the kind of the common tips and tricks and a lot of the common questions that people ask us. So it's going to be kind of a back and forth here. I'm going to give you guys some information, and I actually want to get some information from you. So it's going to be one of those days where you actually get to ask some questions, and I'm going to really focus on checking in on the chat so that I can answer a lot of those questions for you. So you guys stick around for the whole stream. That way you're not going to miss anything. You're going to get some good information on all kinds of different topics today. So welcome in. Deborah Pierce, love the demos all week. Awesome. Thank you so much. You guys keep coming back. We're going to keep doing a lot of these demos. We're going to mix things up a little bit. Greg is going to be back next week, but don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be doing some demos. He's going to be doing some demos. So make sure that you do tune in. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel and set those notifications so that you don't miss anything. And awesome. Let's get started. Lena Lim, thank you. My shirt says choose happiness, and it's a Friday, so we're choosing happiness today. We're going to have a lot of fun. So you guys make sure that as we're going, if you do have questions, please put them into the chat. I want to hear what you guys think. And then also let me know what your favorite tips and tricks are. So as I'm going to show you a couple of different things. And if you have other things that you want to add to our stream here, absolutely, let me know. I feel like the nail industry it's such a big industry, but the more information that we can share with each other, the better we're all going to do. So if you have tips and tricks that you like and that work for you, please share them. Please put them in the chat there so we can all see them and we can see what's working for you. So, all right, let me flip back around here. Okay, so again, you guys, you saw some of these fancy nails. If you missed any of the demos on our nails here this week or last week, we do have them posted in our YouTube channel here. So definitely go back, rewatch them. If you missed anything, if you want to see them again, they are there for you to see. So you can see all these fun designs again. Okay, let me set this off to the side. And first thing I want to talk about is what's right in front of you here. This is the dust extractor. Now, I talk a lot about the dust extractor and how much it is very important to have something like this so that you are keeping all of that dust out of your breathing space. So you're going to be working, let me grab the hand back here. So you're going to be working right in here. And when you're sitting up close to your client like this, anything all that dust that's in this area, that's right in your breathing zone. So having the dust extractor is going to really pull the dust away from your face, away from your breathing zone. You're still going to have some dust on your hands. You're still going to see some dust maybe on your table. But all of that dust that you're actually seeing is not the dust that we're really worried about. The dust that we're worried about is what's flying around kind of in the air here. That's those little finer particles, and that's what we're going to be worried about breathing in. The dust extractor is going to take and pull all of those tiny little particles down into it, so it's going to keep that away from your face. Okay, now here's what I want to really talk about is the importance of cleaning your dust extractor. So people ask me, what do I need to do to maintain the dust extractor? First thing I'm going to tell you is in between your clients. So after you're done with your client, you want to take off the top. Don't take off your top, take off the top of the dust extractor. Don't get me wrong here. And then you're going to take out the filter. So this is what's going to catch all of that dust. It's going to bring it all down into these little kind of little layers down in here. And you can maybe see, there's a little bit of dust. You can kind of see it kind of falling as let me scooch in just a little bit more. Yeah, now you can really see all of that dust that's kind of in between those little layers. Okay, so that's what we really need to clean out. So again, after you're done with your client, or even in between, what I like to do is I'll take my filter out, and then I'll bring in another towel here, and I will put that towel down, and you could just tap that into your trash can, but I find that you get a lot more dust kind of flying around. So I take that, flip it over, and kind of run my fingers over the top of it, give it a little bit of a tap, and that way it's going to take all of that dust from those in between those little filters, and it's going to bring it onto your table. Now I did empty this a little while back, so I just have a little bit on there, but you will definitely notice after you've used it that a lot of that dust is going to come out of there, okay? So make sure that you're cleaning that out after every client. That's going to help keep it nice and clean as you're working, and it's going to help to pull a lot more of that dust away. Okay, at the end of the week, what I like to do is, again, take that part off, and then, you guys, here's a great use for your airbrush. If you guys still have an airbrush, or you can get like even just a hair dryer, or even something that is just gonna blow the air. I use that, and I come in and clean out that fan, because I don't know if you guys can see. Let me kind of come in just a little bit more. You can start to see there's a little bit of that dust kind of build up, and then down around kind of that fan area. So come in there and get rid of all of that dust. Make sure that you're cleaning all of that out so that all of that dust gets in there and it doesn't get stuck in that fan. If you start to get dust built up in the fan here, it can actually start to stick and kind of clog up the motor. So you want to make sure that you're keeping that nice and clean inside, okay? Now, make sure that when you put the filter back in, let me bring the camera angle right over here. You guys see that little tiny thing in the corner? Let me lift up here. That little thing right in the corner here, that's a little lever, okay? So that's actually what's going to trigger the motor, and it's going to connect when you put that filter back in. So let me come back out. So what you want to make sure is happening is that as you're putting that filter back in, that you give it a little press, and it's going to engage that little lever, okay? So that's what's going to make your motor run. And then you just put the top back on, and you are good to go for another week. So always making sure that you're keeping everything nice and clean inside. That's how your dust extractor is going to last for a longer time. Now, you guys, I see that you guys see, I don't see, I see. My dust extractor I have mounted down into my table. Tell me in the chat, do you guys want to see how it's mounted in there, or are you good to go? Tell me in the chat, do you want to see how it's mounted? Let me know. All right, so otherwise, make sure that you are cleaning out the airflow underneath. All right, you know what? I think you guys are saying yes, so I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna unplug here. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my phone here. We're gonna come back, and for those of you that were asking too, this is our Archon mount. This is actually what I'm using to hold my phone. So those of you that are wanting to do more videos and more filming, that's what I use. It's just an Archon mount, and it holds the phone right here. So just a little side note. So if I take underneath my table, so when I turn my dust extractor on, this is what you guys are seeing here. Okay, there's our little on-off button. And I actually unplugged it, so it's not going to turn on. But I do have an opening here. And you see how that it's got the little vents underneath there? I want to make sure that these vents are open. Same thing on the side. So if you guys are mounting these into the table, make sure that the sides are open as much as possible. Make sure that you have that opening at the end here so that you do get that good airflow. Don't just put it down into a box. Make sure that it does have that good airflow. Okay, so let me come back up. So that's how I have it mounted in there. I'll put my phone back into my stand here. And let me go ahead, whoops. Sorry guys, I'm all over the place here now. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop this out so you can actually see what happens. Okay, so I, again, just take that out. Now, if you don't have the dust extractor mounted into your table, I would actually recommend working at an angle. So your dust extractor is actually at an angle on your table rather than straight or on the side. It's much easier if you are trying to hold your client's hand. Let me see if I can get the right camera angle. Okay, so if I'm holding my client's hand, we'll pop this right up here. It's a little bit of a different stream today, you guys, so hopefully you're enjoying this still. Whoops, a little trainer hand got stuck here. All right. So again, having that at an angle, I can hold the client's hand here, but then you can see I still have a spot where I can kind of rest my hand. If I was holding with the dust extractor straight, I don't have as much mobility to put my hand. So I always recommend turning that at a slight angle so that you've got a little bit more space to work. Okay? Okay, so let me go ahead and put this back down in there. Do you guys have anything that works for you when you're using your dust extractor? Any techniques that you guys like to use? Let me know in the chat. Let me know what your tips and tricks are for the dust extractor. So I'm just gonna set this back down in here. All right, and then, whoops, must be stuck on something underneath there. Oh, all right, well, make sure if you are mounting these that you do have enough space so that they sit down in there nice and flush. All right, there we go. And then we'll just plug that back in underneath. And you're good to go again, okay? All right, so let's take a quick little break from dust collectors. You guys tell me, do you have any questions that you want to put in the chat? I'm just gonna flip around here. Like I said, I know this is a little bit of a different stream today, but I do want to give you guys a little chance to ask some questions, get some things answered. Let's see, Susan Turner, stupid question. Do you feel the air sucking the dust is as mine doesn't feel like it's sucking it? Okay, great question, Susan. If your dust extractor doesn't feel like it's actually pulling that dust down anymore, it's probably time to replace that filter. So you know what? Let me show you exactly how to replace them. So I actually do have one here, and thank you, because I almost forgot to actually show you the new filters. So what you want to make sure to do, just like we did, let me switch around here again. Okay, it is actually time for me to change out my filters, so that's kind of what I was thinking here today. So just take them out of that plastic wrap, toss that away. Again, take that top off there, take out the old one, set the new one in, and again, make sure that engages that little lever on the end, and then top back on, and you're ready to go. So make sure that turns on, and we're good to go. All right, great question. So people ask a lot, you know, how often should I change the filters? Let me switch back around. It's really hard to give a specific time as to how often you should change it, but what I suggest is change it when it feels like it's not sucking anymore, okay? I know it sounds kind of like a, you know, indescript answer, but you'll start to notice. And then when you do change it out, you're really gonna notice the difference between a new filter and an old filter. Now, if you're working full-time in salon, I would say probably, I usually go about every month or two, just depending on how busy I am, how much if I'm doing a lot more gel product, because gel does tend to have a finer dust, and so it's going to pull a lot more in there. So just kind of keep an eye on how, you know, how you're working. And I actually, but I have it on this one. I didn't write it on this one, but I'll usually write the day. Just take a permanent marker, I'll write the date that I put that in there, and then when I'm ready to change it out, I kind of get an idea on how often I'm changing my filters. So kind of do, you know, make that, you know, do that, and that'll help you kind of get a better idea of how often you should be changing things, okay? All right, Tara Day, does Young Nails sell the table that goes with the dust collector? No, the table that I have is just an IKEA table, and I know a lot of other nail techs have done the similar technique. You basically just cut into the table and then mount it just like I showed you a little bit ago, and it works great. So no, it's not any specific table, but they can be mounted into the table. Okay, great questions, great questions. Melissa Roberto, yes, if your dust extractor feels like it barely sucks anymore, it is time to change that filter. I guarantee you it's going to make a big difference when you change it. You know, the filters don't look like they need to be changed, but they just get a little bit of buildup in them. Now, you can wash them or actually just rinse them. I wouldn't do it very often, but if you feel like you need to get a couple more weeks out of it, maybe you ordered one, maybe it's on the way, just give it a quick rinse in the water, just run it under the faucet, and you should be okay. It'll give you a little bit longer use out of it, okay? All right, let's see here. Let me go ahead and flip back around. So let's talk about the next tip and trick that I've got for you guys today. So the next one, I'm gonna bring my table towels back in. The next thing I want to talk about is glitter mixing. Now you guys, you know I couldn't do a live stream without doing some kind of glitter or some kind of nails. So let's talk about glitter mixing. So we can mix glitters with acrylics, we can mix glitters with gels, we can press glitters into cured gel. We can do so many different things with glitters, so I'm going to show you some tricks and tips with glitter. All right, so I just grabbed a bunch of different glitters from my shelf. You guys, I'm going to be honest, I don't know for sure if all of these are still available or not. I didn't have a chance to check on the website just yet, but the ones that I've got here, in case you're looking, I've got Do Not Disappoint, I've got Love My Life, and what do we have? Possession, Soon Forget, Text Your Friends, and Bumpin. Okay, so those are some colors that I've got here. Now, how do we mix? There's a lot of different ways. If you're wanting to take all of these different glitters, make a custom glitter, we do have our mixing jars that you can combine them in. So you can just use straight glitters and you can make your own custom mixes in those jars. You can use that and then add that to your acrylic, or you can add that to your gel, okay? So if you just want to have maybe one glitter combination that you can use for everybody, go ahead and use those mixing jars. And you guys, here's the thing about glitter. Don't worry if you don't think it's going to turn out right. You can always add something else, okay? So I have our little catch-all tray underneath my mixing jar because I'm not going to really be too careful on how I'm mixing these. And you guys, if you join us on Twitch, you will see us mixing, actually you'll see Tracy mixing a lot of glitters, okay? And we usually take the extra glitter that spills over and give that away. So join us on Twitch if you want to earn free glitters. But in salon, I like to conserve a little bit of that glitter. So I try to not spill, but I'm going to show you what we can actually do with that glitter when we're done, okay? So when I do my glitter mixes, I actually start with kind of my finer glitters, and this is just a personal preference. If you like to start with your chunkier kind of glitters, you can do that. I like to just get kind of that base color, okay? So that's why I start with the finer glitters, because my finer glitters are going to give me, like I said, that base color. And then I can add the bigger ones, and that's going to give me a little bit more sparkle, a little bit different dimension. So just added those two together. And again, just shake them up, mix it all together, and then you can kind of see how that glitter is looking, okay? Then we can add our chunkier glitters. So I'm moving up just a step, so that's a little bit of a larger glitter. Not too crazy huge, but just enough to add in just some texture, okay? Add in some dimension. Oh, you guys, come on, what am I doing? Let's actually mix here. And then we can add in, these are some slithers. So these, let me just, if you guys can see, they're just kind of rectangular. They're little rectangular glitters. So we're gonna add in those for a little bit more texture, a little bit more dimension. And then let's add in our hexagons. So you guys, feel free, don't be afraid to mix, okay? What's the worst thing that's gonna happen is you don't love the color and you add something else to it. And that's totally fine, okay? So don't be afraid. I'm just gonna add just a little bit more, kind of top it off there. And then we'll shake it up and we'll see where that puts us. All right, give it a quick shake, mixy mixy, and then let's see where we're at. Okay, so that's actually looking really pretty. And you know what I'm even gonna do? I'm gonna just kind of mix that together and pop that on there so you guys can see exactly how that turned out. Okay, so remember, if you love it, stick with it. If you're just like, it just needs a little something, feel free, add some more, okay? Add some more, mix it up, and see what happens, all right? It's glitter, it is not rocket science. So don't get all stressed out about it's not perfect, it's glitter. Enjoy it, have fun with it. And then because I've got my little catch-all tray, I can just tap that all back into my jar. And let's see if that's gonna all fit in there. This is actually a really satisfying kind of a thing to do. Just pouring that back in there, getting all that glitter in there. I love it. Okay, so at this point, we would have this mixed custom glitter so that our client can use that at this point now. And they can use it with acrylics, they can use it with hard gels, they can use it with gel polishes. Actually, this one would not be a great one for a glitter press, but we can use it with a gel polish. But let me close up my glitters. And you guys, if you love mixing glitters, make sure to hit that subscribe button for us so we can get you more videos on mixing glitters. We can get you more education on how to use glitters, all of that good stuff. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you very much. Okay, let's talk about, so we got our glitter here. Let's talk about mixing glitter with acrylic, okay? So when you're working with acrylic, what I like to do is I'm going to take my big old jar of Speed Clear and take a look. I'm going to fill my jar up to just underneath that top line. Can you guys see that? So just underneath that top line of the jar. So right where the cap, whoops, right where the cap sits, right underneath that line, okay? Stacy Clark, the glitter tray was one of our, I think it was a Black Friday special a while back. But if you don't have it, you can, I don't think we have them on the website anymore, but you might be able to get them at like a craft store or something like that. All right, so again, filling that up a little bit just underneath. So again, just underneath that top line. And then we're going to take our glitter. So we could take that same custom glitter mix if we wanted to, and we can pour that in, or we could take our other glitters and custom mix that as well. But what we kind of want to keep in mind is about a 3-to-1 ratio. So 3 parts acrylic to 1 part glitter, okay? We've got about the right amount of our acrylic in here, so we can, again, just add glitter to the top. Whoop, was that the right one? Nope, that was, sorry guys, that was something I was going to show you in just a little bit, so hold on. I know, secrets. Okay, so I'm going to take some of that glitter that I just custom mixed. We're going to mix that into our acrylic powder almost to the top. I like to leave just a little bit of space at the top so that product has a little bit of kind of movement. So if I shake that up, it's going to have a little bit of actual movement in there. All right, so that is our custom one. This is our acrylic mix. give that a shake, roll it between your hands, whatever works for you to get that mixed up. And then, let me grab an extra table towel here. I always like to check to see what my glitter mix looks like before I actually use it on a client. So I'll come in with some monomer. Let me take a little bit there. I'm going to pour that down my brush into my Dappen dish. And then we can take a look at this. So at this point, I can see exactly how the glitter is going to turn out. And then if I decide I need more of a certain color, I can take a little bit more and add a little bit more. Okay, so I'll just put that right down onto my towel here. Take a look, and again, if I do want a little bit more of other colors, I can use that. What do you guys think? Do you like the color, or should I add something else to it? Let me know in the chat. So add more or like it how it is. Guys, I always got to get your opinion, you know? You're my clients. You got to tell me what you want and what else I need to add. All right. Should we talk about pricing? Do you guys want to know about pricing? Maybe we do. We'll just add in just a little bit of talk about pricing here. Not a ton today, but when you are custom mixing colors and glitters, you want to make sure that you are charging for it, because you guys, you do have to keep all of these different products in stock. So you need to make sure that you are charging extra for it. Now, if my client comes in, okay, you guys are liking it as it is. More pink. Okay, we'll see here. Okay, but let's keep talking about pricing. So when my client comes in, if she says, I want these colors mixed together, and this is the exact color that I want, I'm going to charge her an extra price for each one of these colors. Now I add on $5 per color. Now that's for the full set, okay? So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 additional dollars for the full set, okay? When I have to custom mix and I create a color specifically for that client. Now, once this color is mixed, this is going to go up on my shelf. Over here, I've got a whole big shelf of glitters. This color now becomes a glitter that anybody can use for an extra $5, okay? Because I didn't have to take the time and mix it for clients after this, that's why it's only $5. If it's a custom mix, that's why it's going to be $5 per glitter, okay? It's going to take more time. It's going to take more product to do those custom mixes than it is to just take this one color down off of my shelf, okay? Hope that makes sense to you guys. So we took a look at our glitter. Some of you said, yes, add more pink. So let me add, let's see, maybe, yeah, we'll add a little bit more here. And you can, again, pull out that handy dandy little catch-all tray, and we can add some more in. Okay, so go ahead and customize your colors however you want, as long as you're still keeping in that, that ratio of about 3 to 1. And that's another reason that I do leave a little bit more space when I'm mixing, because if I do want to add any more, then it's not completely full. So I add a little bit more. We'll check it again and see how we like it. All right, let's grab our monomer again. Take a look and pick up a pearl, and okay, so it is a little bit richer now. You can kind of see a little bit more of that pink in there. This one's going to cover a little bit more than maybe this one is. This one you can see a little bit more of those larger confettis. So just kind of depending on what look you're going for, add a little bit more, or, you know, thin it out and add a little bit more of the acrylic back in, okay? So that's how you're going to mix for your acrylics. How about gels? Okay, how many of you guys out there work with gel? Do we have a lot of gel users out there? Let me know. Let me know if you're a gel user or acrylic user. All right, so to mix my gels, I'm just going to use just a ceramic tile. You guys can get these from your local hardware store. They're very inexpensive. I'm just going to use a little bit of acetone or polish remover to kind of clean that off. You can use swipe too. Just make sure it's nice and clean before you start mixing. And when I mix, I tend to like to use either Build or Build Pink, just depending on what I'm working with. I like the consistency of the Build products because they're not a very thick product, but they're not super thin either. Okay, lots of gel users out there. Awesome. You guys are gonna love this. So I'm just gonna squeeze out a good amount of that gel onto my mixing tile. However much gel you're gonna need for your full set, squeeze that out, okay? Because you don't wanna come back in and have to mix more because you're never gonna get that same perfect ratio of all of your different glitters. So mix more than you feel like you need, and then you'll have enough. And again, you can use, I forgot to grab them today, but we have white mixing jars. So if you do need to save your gel mixes, use the white mixing jars, not the clear ones, because the white ones are going to keep these from getting exposed to light. So if you're mixing with gel, make sure that you're using those white mixing jars. Okay, so let's start, same colors that we were working with before. And we're gonna just sprinkle some of our glitters over the top. I think there was a question about, can you mix the extreme low odor with glitter? And the answer is yes. If you're working with the extreme low odor product, you're gonna mix it just like we did on that last one. Just make sure that you're working with extreme low odor liquid and extreme low odor powder. You don't wanna be mixing the extreme low odor with our traditional liquid and powder. Okay, so whatever colors of our glitter we want in here, we'll add those in. Again, just sprinkling right on the top of that. Now, if you feel like as you're mixing, you may end up with too much glitter. I know, is that a thing? But if you feel like you have too much glitter and not enough gel, you can always add more gel. Okay, so don't worry about it. You can always add more. So again, just sprinkling all of my different colors. Did I get them all? I think I may have missed this one. All right, we'll just add a little bit of that in there. So I can tell already I'm gonna need to add a little bit more gel, but that's okay. I'll add that in a second here. So what I like to do, let me come in a little bit closer so you can kind of see, is I'll start to take, and this is just a painting spatula, and you can, again, get these at like your local craft store and things like that. You can probably get them online too. And I'm just gonna start to kind of smear this together. You wanna make sure that you're not bouncing on it, because bouncing is gonna add air bubbles to it. When we smear on, it's kind of like buttering toast, you know? Think about it as buttering your toast in the morning. Just kind of spreading that through, getting all that glitter combined. Now I can see, you see how kind of chunky it's looking? It's not looking very smooth. It's not really self-leveling at all. I know I need to add some more gel to that. So we'll come back to our Build Pink and we'll just squeeze out a little bit more, or maybe a good amount more, so that we don't have that chunky kind of feel to our mix here. And just like we were doing, spread that so that it really combines all of that glitter, all of that gel together. Bring it all in. And kind of depending on what consistency you like to work, I would like to work with it a little on the thicker side, but somewhat self-leveling. So if I take this pile, bring it all together, I'm going to kind of take a look at it. So take a look at it from the side. So see how it just starts to kind of soften. It still looks a little bit chunky. So to me, it still needs a little bit more gel mixed into that. So I'm going to take a little bit more. I want it just a little bit more self-leveling, especially with some of those chunkier glitters in there. I like a little bit more of that self-leveling nature of my product. And I think this will probably be enough now. So let's just blend that together. Okay, this is feeling much better. And you guys, when you start to do your glitter mixes and you kind of practice a little bit more, you're going to really start to be able to feel what consistency you like to work with. You're going to be able to feel that as you're mixing. So I can already tell that this is much better consistency. So now when I look at it, I can really see that it just kind of softens and kind of starts to level, okay? So that is the consistency that I like to work with, where it's not chunky or lumpy. It's just going to kind of start to self-level. And even if I tilt it on the side, you see how it's going to start to move just a little bit. It's just going to kind of flow. It's going to start to move. It's not going to run super fast, but it's just going to kind of go, and just kind of relax, okay? So that is the consistency that I like to work with. And what a pretty color we have. Oh my gosh, you guys, you love that? What do you think? Like it? Or should we add more? All right, I think we are good there. But yes, you guys definitely like the video, like our channel, subscribe if you are enjoying what you're seeing. If you want more education, definitely subscribe to our channel. Set your notifications so that you don't miss out on any of the good stuff, okay? All right, so again, if you are going to save that gel, again, use the white mixing jars. Like I said, I forgot to grab them, but we have the clear mixing jars when you're working with your acrylics. We have white mixing jars when you're storing your gels, because gels you want to make sure are not getting in contact with any of the, any light source. So either the UV lights on your table or even the sunlight outside if you're sitting near a window. Let's see, Pop It M, what's in the mix? So again, if you guys missed it, Soon Forget, and Love My Life, and Text Your Friends, all great advice, right? Love your life, text your friends, Possession, oops, sorry, you guys gotta see these. Let's see, Bumpin, and last one was Do Not Disappoint. Okay, so those are all the colors that I used. All right, let's see here. Okay, so let's talk about how to use these with gel polish, okay? Now, I know a lot of you have used glitters with your gel polish, so you can encapsulate them. But what I want to show you today is just a really quick and easy technique that I like to do. So let me come back in here. And let me grab our practice hand again. And I take out one of these nails here. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you saw my station right now, I have got glitter and everything all over the place, but this is what makes doing nails fun. So if I start to drop things, it's because I have too many fun things to have on my desk here. All right, so when we're doing a glitter press, it's basically, you're gonna do the exact same procedure you would for any gel manicure. And I'm gonna take you through that really quickly here. We're going to prep that nail. And let's see, I've got my speed on. Hang on a second here, let me scooch some things around. We'll come in a little closer. And I've got my, I keep wanting to call it my safety bit. This is my sanding band, and I've got my speed at about 5,000 RPMs, so not super fast. So just gonna prep the surface of that nail. If you need to kind of clean up your shaping, anything like that, you can do that before or after, just depends on how you like to work. I'm gonna dust off my nail. Come in with our swipe, put a little bit of that onto my manicure brush, cleanse that off. Oops, maybe just a little bit more. And then we will go into our protein bond once that dries. So let me give that just another couple of seconds, and I'm going to grab a gel polish here real quick. All right, let's go with Black 101, Manicure Black 101. I love doing glitter presses over black just because it gives the nail such a different color, a different look. It's just really cool to have black as a background. And there was actually somebody yesterday, I think, or the day before, that was asking for a black nail. So maybe this will help give them some ideas. So if that person is still with us today, I'm glad you came back. And here's your black nail, okay? So we're gonna start with a coat of our base coat. Hang on. Okay, so we've got our manicure base coat. Had to dig through all my gel polishes here, you guys. And we're just going to apply a nice thin layer. Again, just like we would be doing a normal gel manicure. This is all of the steps that I would do for a regular gel manicure. Nothing different at this point. We're gonna put that into our light here. And we're gonna set that into place for at least 30 seconds. making sure that all of my other gels are away from my light. Let's see, Alora G was the glitter mix builder gel. I actually mixed the glitter into the build pink. But yes, I do like either the build or the build pink because those give me the right consistency. It's the consistency that I like to work with today. Ginger Woods, we're doing a whole lot of different things today. I'm giving you guys some of my kind of the most common questions that people tend to ask. So I'm giving you guys some good tips and tricks to help with a lot of different things. And right now we are working on a glitter press. So with our gel manicures, we're doing a glitter press on top of that gel polish. Okay, so we've got our base coat on, and I'm going to come back in with my black 101. And I absolutely love our black. It goes on nice and thin. You're gonna see that it's not completely opaque with the first coat, but with our second coat, it does get very opaque. So it's gonna allow the light to cure all the way through. I know there's a lot of black gel polishes out there, you guys, that if you put them on too thick, that they're not gonna cure fully. Any colors that have those really dark pigments, sometimes they can tend to have challenges curing. Our black, because it does kind of go on just slightly sheer with the first coat, it is enough, it's got enough pigment to get you that solid color, but not too much to where it's not going to cure. Okay, so we're going to get that in there for another 30 seconds, just kind of freezing each layer into place as we go, and then we'll go on from there. In the meantime, do you guys have any tips and tricks that you guys have for doing your gel polishes, glitter presses, glitter mixing, anything? Put them into the chat. Let's see what you guys are doing. Let's see what works for you. Shell's Nails, Karen, can you show us how to have all your wires from the lights and the dust collector and the e-file? My wires drive me crazy. Yes, actually. So tell you what, if you stick around for a little bit longer, let me get through the glitter press, and then I will show you how I have kind of some things set up here, okay? But put it back into the chat here when we're done, and that way I won't forget. Okay, so we'll take our second coat of our Manicure Black 101. And you guys notice on my first coat, let me come back. So on my first coat, I start brushing about halfway up, and then I tend to cap my free edge, and then I work back towards the cuticle. With my second coat, I just start right back towards my cuticle, and I kind of wiggle my brush up to that cuticle area so I can get nice and close, and then I pull down. This way I don't get any extra product at my free edge and get kind of a buildup at my free edge. And I only do one coat capping the free edge, again, so it doesn't get buildup. So that's just kind of how it works for me. One other quick little tip for you guys, and that's what works for me. Okay, so we're gonna get this back into the light. Now, depending on what color I'm going to glitter press, I can go either 30 to 60 seconds into the light. So let me tell you kind of some differences. Now, let me grab a couple of different colors here. Okay, so we've got, all right, so we've got that Texture Friends. That was one of the first colors that we mixed before. This one is, if we take a look at that, just kind of spread that out. You guys can see, if you look really close at it, this is a glitter that is actually sheer all the way through. So if you need to cure through this, it's going to cure through, okay? So if I were to put this over a coat of that black that was only cured for 30 seconds, that black is going to continue to cure even once I put the glitter over the top of it. Now, we do have other glitters that are more metallic and they're solid all the way through. So one like, let's see, Do Not Disappoint. This one is, can definitely tell the difference in how it glows. It's more of a solid color. So it's actually a silver glitter with a colored coating over it. Now, if you put this over uncured gel, that gel underneath is not going to be able to cure all the way through. This is not going to allow that light to get through. Anything that's a little bit more of a sheer glitter, that's going to allow the light to cure through. So that's kind of why if I'm working with a little more sheer glitter, I can cure for just a quick 30 seconds. if I'm working with something a little more opaque like this one, I want to make sure that gel underneath is fully cured. Okay, so again, just a couple of extra little tips. Let's see, let's see, so this was Texture Friends. That's a little bit of an orange. Let me find, oh goodness. Let's grab a little bit of pinky, just to kind of do a little bit of a color blend. Now, these were some of my older glitters, so that's why they're still in the small containers. Our glitters now come in the 1 ounce, and you guys, you get so much glitter in here. It's gonna last you a lifetime. So stock up when you can and use them and enjoy. Okay, so we got a couple of different colors here. I'm gonna grab just a this is actually one of our brushes from our studio kit, or you can use just an older brush, something that might not be perfect condition. It's a great way to use older brushes too. So I'm going to go into my glitter. Now this is kind of another tip and trick. So when you're applying your glitters, let me come in here a little bit closer for you. You want to make sure that you're going from your glitter to the nail, back to the glitter, back to the nail, okay? You don't want to go to the glitter and then tap, 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 tap on the nail, because there is a little bit of residue still, that kind of, that tacky surface on there. So if you just keep tapping, your brush is going to get all sticky. So make sure that you go from the glitter to the nail, glitter to the nail, okay? Mix it up. We're going to add a little bit of pink in there, glitter to the nail, glitter to the nail, and just kind of make your design how you want it. Oops, sorry guys, I'll come out just a little bit there. So adding glitter wherever you want, kind of creating your color blend. And this is why I love the black, because you wouldn't think that these two colors, that orange and pink, would give us this glow. But because we have that black background, that's why it's going to kind of change it up a little bit. So play around with some of your glitters and see what happens. Okay, I'm just kind of dusting off this nail now, and what this is going to do is it's going to remove any extra glitter from that nail, but it's also going to smooth out that nail just a little bit more. Now, if you feel like you need to, you can, this is why we call it a glitter press, you can press down that product. So you can press those glitters down onto the nail. Now there is that tacky layer, so you want to make sure that you're not getting that tacky layer on your skin. Now there is that layer of glitter on there, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take the little tab out of the center and I'm going to stick that onto my own finger, and then I can use that to kind of press those glitters on there, okay? And that's going to really help you to get that kind of smoother surface on there, and it's not going to get gel on your hand, okay? This was something that I learned from MJ. I'm not sure if she did that technique, but if you haven't followed her, definitely follow her as well. She's got some great ideas too. Okay, so let's set our glitters off to the side. And then how do we finish this nail? I'm going to use my, let's see here. Well, I've got my ultimate finish here, so I'm going to work with that. But I'm going to do one more coat of my base coat. Now, at this point, you could either do one coat of the base coat and then whichever top coat you like. You can do 2 coats of top coat. You could do 2 coats of manicure top coat. So really, whatever top coats you're wanting to work with is going to be just fine, okay? But 2 coats is going to be my recommendation, because the first coat is going to seal in the glitter. The second coat is going to give you a smooth finish. So that if you just do 1 coat of top coat, what's going to happen is you're probably still going to feel a little bit of texture to that nail. So 2 coats is going to give you a nice smooth finish. Okay, let's pop that back into the light. Quick 30-second freeze, and then we can do our final coat. Okay, what do you guys think? Are you enjoying the glitters? Are you loving the glitters? Let me know. So you'll notice that when I did the glitter press, I did use the smaller glitters. If you're trying to use the, let me grab a couple here. If you're trying to use the chunkier glitters, those you're going to need to do a little bit more of an inlay rather, or an encapsulation, rather than just the glitter press. Because they're so large on that nail, you're going to end up having kind of a little bit more texture to it unless you actually encapsulate that. So make sure that if you're trying to use those chunkier glitters that you do encapsulate rather than just do the glitter press. All right, so again, I'm coming back in to finish with my ultimate finish, and we'll do one more quick top coat of that. Seal that nail up, and then pop that back into the light. And this one, we're gonna do a full 60-second cure all the way through. All right, let's see. Jane Hemmings, can you show how to do gems? We actually just did a video earlier in the week, I think it was earlier this week, using the rhinestones. So definitely check that out. It is posted up on our YouTube channel here. So definitely check that out. All right, let's see here. So that's going to be our glitter press. Now when that comes out of the light, it is going to have a tacky surface. And actually, no, I lied. Just kidding. We use the ultimate finish. So that is going to be a tack-free finish, so we don't have to worry about cleansing that nail or anything like that. Once it comes out of the light, it is going to be done and cured and ready to go. All right. Let me flip around. Did you guys have any other questions about the glitter press before I move on to our next topic? Let me know in the chat any other questions about glitters, glitter presses, glitter mixes, or any other tips or tricks that you guys know that you want to share. And can you please show an easy ombre technique? I think we just did a kind of a colored ombre the other day. So again, check out our videos from this week. So make sure to see those. Whoops, let me come back around here. So our nail is cured out. So this one, that was our rhinestone and our colored ombre from earlier. And then this one is our finished glitter press. So again, you can kind of see all of those different color reflections. You can see it is nice and smooth. Now, if you do need to, you can come back through. Let me come out just a little bit. You can come back out and just give it a quick little buff around the edge. Sometimes those little tiny pieces of glitter can kind of poke off the edge, so just make sure to smooth those out. This is not going to affect your bond. It's not going to break the seal or anything like that. It's just going to give you that nice smooth edge all the way around the sides. Okay, so that was our glitter press for today. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions about glitters. So let's move on to my last tip and trick here today. And again, you guys, if you have questions, put them in the chat. I'm here for you guys today, so I want to make sure that I get some of your questions answered. If you're having challenges with anything, let me know. All right, let's see. I'm going to clean this up here a little bit. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about is something that I get a lot of questions about, and it is how to keep your brush clean. So how to keep your acrylic brush clean. So let's start with how you're wiping your brush, because a lot of times how you wipe your brush is what is going to keep it clean. So let me come in here. You know what? One more quick little tip and trick. I know I showed this the other day, but I take our table towels and I cut them into smaller pieces. So what I do is, let me come out here real quick. Actually, let me just flip around. So our table towels come in a nice folded up square, and I just take and I will cut those right along the seams. Just like that. Cut through. I know you guys know how to use scissors, but just showing you. And then I'll fold them in half again. Cut that one lengthwise. And then we will fold that one in half again and cut along there. And then make sure it's got some little seams in there. Did I get all the seams? Nope, I did get all the seams. So just cut them into smaller pieces. That way they're a little bit easier to store maybe on your station. And I actually like to work with a little bit smaller pieces so that I don't waste the whole table towel. So I can just use these. Now, these are a more cloth-like table towel rather than a paper towel. Okay, you guys, when you're working with acrylics, these paper towels, kitchen paper towels, they do not work to really pull and extract that acrylic out of your brush. So that's why we recommend using the really good table towels, because like I said, they're a little bit more cloth-like, they're really durable, but they're gonna really pull all of that acrylic out of your brush so that it keeps your brush nice and clean, okay? So let me come back around here. So as you're working, grab my liquid, I've got my powder here. And you can see I've got my brush soaking in my monomer. That's another way to keep your brush clean. So as you're, in between, if you're cleaning up or anything like that, you can leave your brush soaking in your monomer so that it is going to help to kind of clean out anything that's still left in your brush after you're done with your nails, okay? Now, make sure that you don't leave it in there too long, because that too much pressure, let me bring in here real quick. If you leave it in your Dappen dish too long, you can actually see I've let it sit for just a little too long. It does kind of put a little bend or a little crimp in the tip of the brush. So make sure that just maybe a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so, but don't leave it in too long. And then you can come back in, wipe out your brush, roll it back to a point. Okay, so that's all how you're always going to keep your brush to a nice point. Now, let's talk about keeping your brush clean as you're actually using it. So when you pick up your product, you pick up your pearl and you set it onto the nail, or you just go to wipe, make sure that when you wipe your brush and you clean your brush, you actually wipe your brush. So what I do is I wipe my brush and then turn it over, wipe the other side. So you're actually pulling that brush across the towel. This is something that I see a lot of, especially beginners do, is they will pick up their pearl, and oh, maybe it's not the right pearl, so they just dab it on their towel. See how much product you still have in your brush? If you're just dabbing your product or dabbing your brush on your towel, that's not going to pull out and extract all of that product out of there. Let me see if you can. So I don't know if you guys can see. There we go. Okay, so there is that little bit of residue. Even if I kind of wipe out that, there is a little bit of residue in that brush. So that dabbing is not going to extract all of that product out of there. You actually have to wipe that brush, pull that product out. Do you see how that came out now? Pull that product out, so that's what's going to clean your brush, okay? If you had that residue in there, again, go back into your monomer, rinse it out, brush both sides to pull all of that out. Now, something you can do to kind of check, let me come in really close so you can see this, is if you press your brush down and give it just a little bit of a twist, you can see those bristles. They should fan out really nice and even, okay? If they stick together, you're gonna know that there is a little bit of product in your brush, so you do need to clean that out before you keep working. If you have product in your brush, it's just gonna attract more and more product to it. So if you don't clean this out as you're working, it's going to start to accumulate in the brush, and then it's going to just pick up more and more in your brush. So always make sure that you're keeping your brush clean as you're working. You're brushing it out, rolling it to a point. We're not dabbing, okay? One more thing that I want to talk about with keeping your brush clean is where you wipe your brush. And again, this is something that I see a lot of beginners do, is we kind of get into a routine. So we'll go into our liquid and we'll pick up our pearl, and then we'll put that onto the nail, and then we'll wipe our brush here. We'll do the same thing. Pick up, work on the nail, wipe our brush. Pick up, whoops, grab that, oh, wipe our brush, okay? Do you see where I'm wiping my brush? I'm wiping it in the same spot over and over, okay? If you're wiping your brush in that same spot over and over, that is never going to pull out any of that product. It's always going to just leave it on there, because this area right here is going to get saturated. So as you're wiping your brush, make sure that you're wiping here, and then you go to a different spot, go to a different spot, go to a different spot on your table towel, so that you're always wiping your brush on a clean spot. You're not wiping it in the same spot. That area right there is going to get oversaturated, and it's not going to be able to extract all that product out of your brush. That's why, again, I like cutting my table towels into smaller pieces, because then I can just toss the other one there, and I always have a nice clean place to wipe my brush on. Okay? All right, let's see. Again, cleaning in the monomer. Make sure that you're cleaning in the monomer. You don't want to be using any other alcohol, acetone, anything like that, because that's actually going to start drying out your brush after a while. So again, if you need to clean it out, if it feels like there's a little bit of product stuck in there, kind of dab it into your liquid, let it sit there for a few minutes, and that will help to start to pull out all of that extra product that's in there, okay? And again, when you're done with your brush, you're going to wipe out both sides of it and then gently roll it back to a point, and that's how you're always going to keep your brush in good condition. All right, you guys. So those were some of the most common tips and tricks that I get questions about. Do you guys have any other questions that you want to ask? Anything that maybe you had challenges with, or anything that you guys had great ideas and things that worked for you? Let us know in the chat. I'm here for you guys. We'll spend a few more minutes if you have some questions. I'm happy to answer them. Jillian Banks, Karen, do you get more people asking for gel or acrylic? Yes. Right now, I really feel like in my area, I think a lot of people they're starting to realize that gel is a really good option. So I really have a good balance of acrylics, hard gels, gel manicures, pedicures. So those are all the services that I offer. So yeah. And I am not actually taking new clients anymore. I am completely booked up as much as I want to be booked up at this point, so that I can give you guys a lot of my focus and give you guys a lot of education. So I do still take a few clients, but not I'm not 100% full-time in salon anymore. So thank you guys. If you enjoyed our stream today, definitely give us a like, give us a follow. Make sure that you set all of your notifications so that you don't ever miss out on a live stream. Let's see, did I have anything else on my list today? Oh, yes, you guys, make sure. Here's my other tip and trick. If you want to know about sales, if you want to know when we go live, if you want to know, anything, if you ever have questions, get onto our text community. Text us 714-274-7323. You can always text us. If you want to get notifications for any of our live streams, make sure to text us the word YN Live, and we will let you know when we go live here on YouTube, on Twitch, maybe some other places, but I'm not gonna confirm on that. But yes, you guys definitely let us know what you're liking, if you have questions, anything that we can help you with. Let me see, I think there may have been a couple of quick little questions here. Ginger Woods, how do you prep the gel and art brushes? Oh, you know what? Let me show you really quick, because I actually have a brand new brush here. So when you get a brand new gel brush, let me see where it went. I'm gonna grab another mixing tile, but when you get a new brush, it's gonna come with that little plastic piece on it. Take that off, throw that away, okay? Don't try to keep your brushes in there, because the product is just gonna stick to that, okay? So when you get a brand new brush, whether it's acrylic or hard gel, it's gonna have a starch in it. So that brush is gonna be kind of firm, kind of solid. So what you wanna do is just come in and press out that starch, kind of break that up a little bit, okay? And if you need to, you can gently, and I reiterate, gently. Let me come here, come in. You can use either an orange wood stick. This is one of our cuticle pushers from our kit. And actually, you know what? I don't think this is a new brush. I think I have gel in that. So let me actually grab a new brush. I think I have one. Yes, okay. Hang on, let me show you. This one will be better. Okay, same thing. Take off that plastic cap, break out that starch that's in there. And again, if you need to, you can come back through with an orange wood stick or your cuticle pusher, a clean cuticle pusher, not one that you've used on a client. And just come right through there, making sure to kind of break up that starch a little bit. Now, if this were an acrylic brush, I would use my monomer, and just like I was showing you how to clean your brush, you would clean that brush out in the monomer, rinse all of that starch out of there. I'm kind of pressing it down into there and just kind of loosening up those bristles. Clean it out, wipe it out. You may need to go back in to really get all of that starch out of there. Clean it out, wipe it out, roll it back to a point. okay? That's how you would take care of a brand new acrylic brush. Now for a brand new gel brush, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take any kind of a clear gel. Just because I have my Build Pink out here, I'm going to put a little bit of that on my tile. You can use base gel, you can use flex, you can use any of the building kind of gels. You can use a base coat, top coat, even like the Manicube base. So really any kind of a clear gel. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start to kind of work that gel into my brush. Turn the brush over, so work it into both sides, and I'm just kind of pressing it right into my brush. Kind of working it in, and that's also going to be pulling out all of that starch that was in there. Again, just kind of working that brush through, getting the gel to really kind of saturate the bristles, okay? And then we're going to wipe that off, get rid of some of that extra. And then you don't have to, but a lot of times I like to take another one of those table wipes, table towels, and then I'll just kind of fold that over and just very gently, I'm not putting a lot of pressure, I'm not squeezing it, but just gently hold that and just kind of take out a little bit more of that extra gel. You don't want to clean this out with anything like swipe or acetone or anything like that, because again, that's going to start to dry out those bristles. So I'd leave just a little bit. You can kind of see as I'm kind of touching there, it's got still just a little bit of residue in my brush, and I'm going to leave that in there because that is going to help me to keep my brush in shape, and it's going to help to keep that brush conditioned. And I just kind of tuck in those edges a little bit, bring it a little bit more to a point, and my brush is clean and ready to go. And if you do have the Pro Gel Sculptor, that back part of the brush comes off, and you can use that as a cap to hold your brush and keep your brush nice and clean. Otherwise, I would recommend, if you don't have a brush cover or something like that, using pencil boxes or things like that to keep your brush in and put it in your drawer to keep it nice and clean. So just really quick, that was how we clean our brushes. And I know you guys had other questions in here, and I got talking and I didn't check the chat here. So if you do have other questions, you're always welcome to DM us. You can always contact us through the website, youngnails.com. We have a little chat option on the website as well. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, if you enjoyed today's stream, definitely give us the thumbs up, give us the likes, the follows, and please subscribe. We do appreciate that very much. So we will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful weekend and do lots of fun nails today. Thanks, everybody.